we're going to see multi-class racing. But for now, it's just GT3, and we're off to the grid.
Yeah, Tyler Merritt, you know, he's going to start on the pole here. He's in, I believe he's in the Porsche. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Logan Threlkeld on the outside there. Going to be a great start. Next week, of course, I kind of feel like you do. It's going to be a completely full field because we're going to be at Watkins Glen. And last time we were mid-season at Watkins Glen, and that field was absolutely loaded.
Well, I think you attribute a lot of that to the left-hand turners that we have here at Goat Locker Racing. You know, a lot of them see Watkins Glen, you know, a couple times a year on their calendars, so they're a little more comfortable just adding the boot in and learning it on a new car. So there'll be a couple of those tracks that they'll be more comfortable with here in North America, but don't fear, there's plenty of European tracks mixed in. We're going to have a good time this year.
Absolutely. So as we're getting ready, the pace truck is about to come off the line here and start rolling these cars down the track here. They're about to enter turn one, which turn one with, you know, looks like we got about 25 cars on the track. Turn one going into this track is very similar to Monza. It's a heavy braking zone. It's going to be interesting how many people are going to try to make positions in this opening lap when they take the green flag.
Well, when you're by yourself, you're entering that turn at 160 miles an hour, and you're braking 500 meters or so before turn one. Somebody's going to try something. Somebody's going to brake early and try, you know, that crossover. And some people are going to brake late, and they're just going to close their eyes and hope they make it.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see a Lamborghini and a Porsche up front. It kind of surprised me. I expected the Corvette and the Mustang is usually pretty good on these tight turning fast tracks. The Lambo and the Porsche I feel like are better on the more stretched out circuits, but they're showing some real speed here tonight with Logan Threlkeld and Merritt up on top here. Jeremy Gardner starting in third. That's a really impressive start for him. I know he's really fast. He shows up in PIR, which is on the schedule. But there's a lot of fast guys. And then, of course, Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith has been bragging about the Porsche since I've known him. But tonight he's out there in the Mustang.
Well, you were worried about Detroit representation in the front row, but they're right there in the second row, ready to pounce as soon as Merritt or Threlkeld make a mistake.
Yeah, and Eddie Smith, though, you know, I got my eye on him. Hey, you know, before they start, who do you like? And we watched practice, and there was a lot of fast guys. But who do you like tonight?
Well, it's hard to deny Tyler Merritt after he just laid down a scorcher, a 124.7. But, you know, in practice, you know, a dark horse might be the 08 of Brian Provo. Brian Provo was setting the fastest 5-lap average, and he did it by about 4 or 5 tenths. So if he can lay down that kind of consistency and other people kind of function the same as they did in practice, then I think he might be one to watch out for, you know, all the way back in 7th. We'll have to see how he can get down pit road and get his fuel later on.
Yeah, speaking of pit road can be kind of tricky getting on pit road. You kind of come off that final corner there that's turn 13, and you kind of go right on the pit lane, and then when you get on the pit lane, you actually got to accelerate. So entrance to pit road is really spicy today as well. And that pace truck is coming around the corner here. We should see it entering pit road here in a minute. So we're about to light them up, boys.
Well, I'm honored to be sitting here right next to you as we start the next chapter of Goat Locker Racing. I am thrilled.
Yep. So the pace truck goes through turn 12, hitting 13. We'll see it dive off onto pit lane. They'll have to make it almost to the signboard before they'll get the green flag. So this is where nerves are tight. These guys are thinking they want to get everything they can on the first lap. And then going into turn 1, like I mentioned before, that heavy braking zone, this is going to be an exciting start.
I can't wait. And here we go out of turn 14.
So as they round the corner here, we're waiting for them to get to that signboard before they get the green flag. At any moment now, I expect us. There we are, green. These boys are lighting them up. And that Lamborghini down on the inside, Tyler Merritt, Logan Threlkeld racing each other down to that turn 1 corner. See who's hard on the braking zone. We got a car in the back. Took a peek out. Let's see how they get through this braking zone here. Very respectful so far. Tyler Merritt up front takes the lead. They're side by side behind Threlkeld. Jeremy Gardner there racing Eddie Smith.
Relkel thought about it going into one, but he definitely didn't want to end his race prematurely. He's going to sit back and wait on it.
You know, that was a heck of an impressive start. This is why Goat Locker has some of the best drivers. I kind of expected almost an incident there at the start, and I didn't see really anything there, Corey.
A couple of off tracks, but it looks like everybody made it through all right.
Meanwhile, back to Brian Provo. We're looking at Brian Provo right now. Was just taking a look there at Tyler Justice and didn't quite get it done, it looked like.
Coming down out of turn 11 down into 12 for the first time. Still Tyler Merritt leading. Logan Threlkeld by about 3/4 of a second. But he's got Jeremy Gardner and Eddie Smith in tow.
We'll see if he opens that up. We're currently looking at Threlkeld in that 30 Porsche and seeing if he can make anything of it. But right now he's going to be falling prey back to Jeremy Gardner. We got a car spinning in the back there. Not sure who that was.
It's Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith. Oh no, Eddie Smith in the 87 car comes around turn 14 back onto the straightaway. And that's going to put him way back there. He's currently in 20th and falling still.
Yeah, and here's the scenario. Oh, and that Acura goes by, and you can see just what happened there. The Acura goes by on the outside. I think Eddie was a little loose there. And
yeah, the 38 of Rob Kubat might have gotten a piece of him. Doesn't look too worse for the wear, but he's going to be way back there, and he's in 18th right now, and he's going to have a long ladder to climb to get back in this one.
At the top of the broadcast, we were talking about the pit strategy here. They can take 100% fuel now, so if Eddie wanted to, he could come in and top that thing off and probably make it the distance. We'll see what he does here as we're looking at another battle.
Tyler Merritt coming out of turn 13 back around 14 back onto the front straightaway. He has already opened up to a 2.2 second lead as we complete lap 2 with 57 minutes to go still.
Yeah, and Threlkeld back there in second. Jeremy Gardner right behind him. Jeremy Gardner looking for a position, but there's a 3-car battle just behind them. It looks like Rob Kubat, Tyler Justice, and Brian Provo back there. Brian Provo looking for a spot to get by both those guys, and you can see the battle up front there between Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice gets it done, it looks like, in that Lamborghini, gets by the Acura. So these guys are still battling it out as they head through this little short stretch, and they get back on the back stretch here. Another long straight, trying to get into a hard braking zone here. Brian Provo, your pick. Did I pick a car, by the way, Corley? I don't know if I picked a driver.
I don't think you did. And you can't pick Tyler Merritt right now because he is already checked out at a 3 1/4 second lead.
No, I'd forgotten about that. And I think I was headed towards Santa. Logan Threlkeld, we talked to him pre-race, and I think he's kind of my favorite tonight. We'll see what Threlkeld gets, but Brian Provo definitely is a good pick.
Well, you're watching Rob Kubat here in 5th place. He's about half a second behind Tyler Justice, trying to make a move as there's contact from Provo in the 08 from behind as they're working their way.
Provo was a little bit stronger through that corner, and that's why he got into the back of that Acura there of Tyler Justice. But it looks like no harm, no foul, but just behind them we can see it looks like Samuel Egg took a peek on the outside there, or the inside there, of that Porsche Zachary Menace, but didn't have enough there to get into that braking zone hard.
Yeah.
Back. Go ahead.
My pick, Brian Provo, is working his way in on turn 3, but now he's on the outside of turn 4 as they're going to go through 5 and 6 without lifting. But Provo's got a bad angle, and he's going to have to give up a little bit of time, and Provo's got Menace right behind him as well.
Yeah, I think Provo's looking back there at Menace, and he's like, I got to get by, because I think he knows he has a fast car, and he's got to get by this driver.
And
it looks
Provo's
like he
going to have to block, but Provo can get down, and he can take the position away from Kubat, and now he's up to 5th place.
Yep, so now he's looking ahead there to Tyler Justice, so give Brian Provo that position. But I think Rob Kubat is He's going to try to get that position back going here, and this is a really slippery section for the cars here as they head into this another hard braking zone. Not much of a passing attempt here, so it looks like Provo's going to keep that covered.
Well, they have a stopped car ahead, the 30 car.
Oh, that's Logan Threlkeld. Oh no, that's my pick of the day. So he's pulled himself in Eddie Smith, and he's spun that thing around. It looks like. I'm not sure if anybody got into him. We're going to go back and look at the replay here.
Yep. So that's going to put Justice into third, Provo into fourth, and Kubat back up to fifth. Let's see if we can see what happened to Logan Threlkeld as he goes
just gets
into
away from
12, and he just loses it. Unfortunate for him, he's going to recover and probably get some of those spots back, but that might take him out of the win if Tyler Merritt stumbles at all.
Yeah, he was pretty excited. He just bought that car, so you can't blame him. And the Porsche is notorious. Being a rear-engine car like that is notorious for once you get it past the slip angle, there's like no recovering it.
It's good for the guys who come from an open wheel, rear engine, mid-engine type of car. But if you're a circle track kind of guy, you're going to struggle with it until you can get your hands around it. Well,
back up front.
Tyler Merritt's opened up a can on this field so far. We're only 7 minutes into the race, and he's already 6 seconds ahead of Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner as Tyler Merritt comes down and around turn 14. And looks like he's going to come back onto the front stretch and complete this lap. He's got the fastest lap currently. He's under 125. This last lap was just a 124.798. And that is the fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, he's smoking. He's the class of the field right now, but anything can happen at this track. And, you know, he's going to have some lap traffic, obviously, to deal with later in this race, and that can factor into his race. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We got another incident on the track. We got a Corvette off there of Joshua Unger. Looks like he went off about the same place Santa there. Logan Threlkeld went off the track there, trying to get that Corvette back on the track here. We'll see what happens.
Not sure if there's some debris back there or people just struggling with grip. You know, with the overcast and the decently cool temperatures, I'm surprised that people are struggling. Maybe they're just pushing the limits of the cars, trying to get the most out of it. But let's watch what happens here.
Oh.
And yeah, it looks like a little contact on the inside didn't quite leave enough space for the car inside of him, and he's going to be in the grass.
Yeah, that's another one headed back towards the back of the field, but no real damage between those two guys. So we'll see what Joshua can make anything back of this race. I was just looking at the chat there, and Tyler Merritt does have a fan. We've been talking about our leader, Tyler Merritt. There's a Masano out in chat that's saying, let's go, Tyler Merritt. And then also there's a couple people, Heather and Davis Morris, wishing the 30 good luck as well.
Well, the best action on track right now is the battle for fifth. You see Bob Kubat in fifth, but he's got Samuel Egg and Zach Minnis right behind him as they come on to the front straightaway. Past the pylon, past the pagoda to complete their lap across the yard of bricks. They're going to go down 160 miles an hour down into turn one, and they're going to slam on the brakes. And it looks like Egg is going to make a move to the inside. He's on the outside now. It doesn't look like he's going to make it. Provo still has it, but now Egg's got the inside line. He's going to brake late into turn 4, and he's going to complete the pass and take fifth spot away.
Yeah, that was a heck of a pass there that Samuel made on Brian Provo. It looks like, yeah, that was a heck of a pass.
You're watching the battle for fifth still, and it is intense going into turn 7. Kubat trying to make a move, but he's going to be on the outside as they come across turns 8 and 9, but into 10, he might make a move. He's going to have too much distance, and there's contact. Contact, and Minnis is going to spin. Minnis was going for a move on Provo for fifth, and he could not pull it off, and he put himself in the grass.
Yeah, I think Minnis was running that car really hard, gets into the back of that Acura. Kubat didn't affect Kubat's race, but it sure affected Minnis. Yeah, you can see him just, and that's a tough section there because you can go pretty fast through there, and it's one of those places where you can make up a lot of lap time here. But I think he tried to make up too much there.
The next best battle on the track is going to be for 11th. Eddie Smith is in 11th, and he's battling with Christopher Tate.
Yeah, yeah. Eddie
Eddie's coming
Smith
off for
just,
his service already.
and this is what we were talking about, that fuel strategy, and Eddie Smith making it up to 11th before he headed to pit lane. I think he he slid out. He ended up back to 18th, so he was making up positions. Now he's headed to pit lane. But meanwhile, back on the track here, we're looking at Christopher Tate under pressure here. Not a whole lot of pressure, but Christopher Tate kind of just running his own race at the moment. Started in 22nd. And
The battle for 11 was a 4-car race, and now it's only a 3, but there's still good action on track. Tate, Baker, and Kristen, all 11th, 12th, and 13th within a second of each other.
Yeah, watching Christopher Tate there. We got Rezon Baker back there behind him. About the best battle on the track right now. There's some other battles going on a little bit further back, but we're keeping our eye on Rezon Baker and seeing if he can run down that car just ahead of him of Christopher Tate.
Well, Eddie Smith's completed his service. He's was in there. He had a 24-second stop, and that will probably be tires and fuel, maybe just 2 tires, but he is back out on track in 23rd. He's going to try to reel him in and hope everybody else makes a mistake on pit road.
Yeah, so with the new tire model, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the sketchy things that you might have to do, or one of the, maybe it's a penalty, is if you take tires nowadays. On the previous build, we could take tires. We could take 2 tires, maybe even 4 tires. It takes about 21 seconds to take 4 tires. If you take 2 tires, you can do it in about 14 seconds. But with this new tire model, it takes quite a few laps to get these tires warmed up and get the car back up to full song. So you're giving up quite a bit of time on the track on these hour-long races when you take tires.
Well, right now you're watching the battle for second. Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner is only about a 1.25 seconds ahead of Tyler Justice, who's starting to reel him in. Justice was 0.3 faster on the last lap. Let's see if he can get a little bit closer.
And speaking of reeling in, your pick, Brian Provo, just behind them in that Mustang in 08, is just behind those 2 as well. So Tyler Justice, Jeremy Gardner, and Brian Provo are about to mix it up, I think.
We've had a couple big movers so far this race. Our biggest mover so far has been Rezon Baker, the number 77 Porsche. He's been up 14 spots since the beginning. Christopher Tate up 11. And then Travis Stevens up 6. But Brian Provo, he's up 3, just like Tyler Justice. And Jeremy Gardner now back up to the front row with the Threlkeld incident earlier.
Yeah, doing a great job getting these cars back up front. I'm currently looking back here at Michael Kozak. He started back there in 9th, talking about some people that are moving up. Michael Kozak is currently in 6th after starting in 9th, trying to reel in Rob Kubat, who's had a very exciting race so far, watching Rob out there in that 38 just ahead of him. But he might be starting to feel some pressure back there from the 924 of Travis Stevens, who's just behind him.
One of the most competitive things on track right now is the 333 of Alexander Sexauer, back in 16th place, being pursued by Brock Price, only a 1/4 second behind right now.
Yeah, that's a really good battle happening right now. Got Brock Price just right behind him, following in his tire tracks. Hasn't made a move right now. It's interesting. It looks like Brock Price is in the Audi. Ooh, there's a close call there. It looks like going by some lap traffic or a slow car there.
They're going to come down the short chute into 12, make the right-hander. It looks like we have another car off track. Looks like Doug Ellingson is off track.
Yeah, I think he overshot that corner a little bit and probably got to slow down. You see him on the brake lights there, so I don't know if he's going to get a tow or, yeah, that's exactly what he did. He towed that car to the pits.
All right, well, let's check on our leader, the Tyler Merritt. He has opened up now what is a 12.5 second lead as he's coming around into turn 12 with nobody around him. The next car ahead of him is going to be lap traffic, the 22nd place car of Noah Hogard.
Which that lap traffic can play into that race, but you're right, he's stepped it out with that huge lead right now. We're watching a battle on the track right now between these two guys, Alexander Sexauer in that 333. Looks like he's putting all kinds, or trying to hold off Brock Price back there in that Audi.
Well, they've both caught Jonathan Cofield, who is, excuse me, they've both caught Kevin Price, who they've gained a 1.5 seconds on in the last lap or so. They are catching him, and it's going to be a 3-place battle for 15th here very shortly as they come back on to the short chute into turn 12.
Man, there is racing all over this track. It's very difficult to keep track of all of this. There's just about a race on every section of this track at the moment there, Corey.
Well, can you imagine, a couple seasons from now when we're so big that we're using multiple classes? I'm not sure I can keep it all straight.
I can't keep it all straight now. As we're back to Brian Provo, this 4-car battle up here. Brian Provo looking at in 4th place. Actually, I think it's a 3-car battle, but Brian Provo right behind Tyler Justice in that yellow and black Lamborghini. I'm trying to put some pressure, trying to get around Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice just behind Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner, just ahead of them.
Oh, Eddie Smith, who's off the track in the grass again. My goodness.
Eddie is having a rough day. That was our Summer Series champion having a rough start to this season.
Tough day at the office for him. Provo and Kubat are going after Jeremy Gardner as Tyler Merritt sets an even faster lap, 1:24.694. 18 minutes into the race. We're going to watch Brian Provo see if he'll make a move down into 1 or if he's just biding his time.
Yeah, I think he's a little too far back for that braking zone. As they go into 1, he does close up on that Lambo, but doesn't have quite enough there. I think he's watching there. I think he's being patient. Brian Provo is a good road racer. I spent season 1 racing him just about every week, and I always have a lot of respect for Brian. As Brian now has an opportunity, you can see right there, Tyler Justice makes a mistake there in turn 3, but was able to hold on there. Brian Provo almost like sucked that up, but couldn't quite get it done. Is he going to take another peek here into his braking zone here into turn 7?
Well, Tyler had issues getting through turns 2 and turn 3, and Brian Provo is there as they both get around the 03 of Brian Frauheiger back in 24th. As they head into turn 10, they're going to come around the service area here back onto the oval, and then they'll head down into turn 12. Turn 12, decent passing zone. Can he make something happen here? No, he's not going to go too hard on him. He does get right up to the bumper. Tyler Justice is going to pull away just a little bit. Justice all right through that turn, going to come around 14. Let's watch him as they come down the front straightaway into turn 1. Can they make a move here? 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, these cars don't get the toe that they used to get. And, a couple of years ago, there used to be a stronger toe with the GT3 cars, but iRacing has limited that down a little bit. So I think Provo just couldn't quite get the toe. And the Mustang has really been strong with that V8 just singing on the front stretches. But I don't know, maybe the last build with the balance of power has slowed that Mustang down a little bit. But he is keeping it fresh there running behind Tyler Justice.
Now we're back here on the track seeing the 158 of Noah Hogard, who is only 3/10 behind Tyler White, fighting for 20th place.
You can see him on the outside there. It looks like they're getting by some lap traffic. Oh, the leader just got by. Noah Hogard starting to put cars a lap down. I wasn't paying attention there, Corey, and watching some of these strong guys actually going a lap down early on in this race. We're not even halfway.
We've got action on pit road with one of our faster cars, Ryzen Baker, who was in 20th, or is now back down to 20th. He's just completed service, 28 seconds. I assume that'll be tires and fuel. As we're watching Noah Hogard go down into turn 1, trying to make a move. Tyler White doesn't flinch. Got a mirror full of Hogard as they go into turn 3. Around in turn 4, and it's going to be a move to the inside. No dice, couldn't make it work.
Well, while you were talking about that, we had the cameras on Brian Provo. Brian Provo made that turn on Tyler Justice, made that position change going into turn one. We're going to look at this on the instant replay here. You can see him get a run down the front straightaway, and there he is. He gets into that braking zone and gets by that Lambo of Tyler Justice. So he worked on him for 5 or 6 laps there and able to finally make that position happen.
With Brian Provo up to third, it's really just a question of who's not going to make these mistakes. Provo is 18 seconds back of the leader, but that's one mistake away from losing the lead still. Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner only 3.5 seconds ahead of third place, losing a couple tenths that last lap to Provo. We'll see what Brian Provo's got the rest of the way here.
Yeah, and we just we're looking at Jeremy Gardner here. Heck of a show by Big Daddy out here in that 57 Corvette. Jeremy Gardner, I've only raced him, I think, once on a road course, and that was at VIR. He was really strong. I think he led like half that race, but I think the pit stop got him or something like that. You know, he's looking back there, and he knows that Brian Provo has got Tyler Justice clear, and I think he knows Brian Provo is a strong driver, and he probably wants to get by some of this lap traffic in a hurry before Brian catches him.
Yeah, he definitely wants to make quick work of this. Every turn that he's behind the 0-6 of Tyler Rice is time lost on the leader and time lost to Brian Provo.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's got anything for the leader at the moment. Yeah, so he's getting pinched in there between 2 lap cars there. Jeremy Gardner there, Rice, and he does get by him, but that was kind of sketchy. And it looks like he still has Tyler Rice ahead of him. It looks like Tyler Rice is not letting him by at the moment.
One of our big movers, Christopher Tate, on pit road right now getting service. He's going to drop back, but he's taking his service. Now we got Tyler Justice, who has a meatball. No rear wing on Tyler Rice. But what happened to Tyler Justice?
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to go back and see here. Tyler Justice, you can see him down there in the grass. He gets collected there with the lap car, and must have got some damage there because then he came up and got off track there. So I think that gave him some damage.
Unfortunately, he's going to lose a lot of time. Probably have to go use that fast repair. Oh, what a hit that was.
Yeah, these guys do have one fast repair, and Tyler Justice is headed to pit lane to get that Lamborghini repaired. You can see the damage there on the left front, right there by the headlight. That front bumper is about to fall off that car, so that's probably why he got himself off in the grass. And he'll get that thing fixed. It won't affect. He'll be able to put as much fuel as he needs to finish this race out. But tough break for Tyler.
Yeah, fortunately with the fast repair, he's not going to lose a lot of time. He had to pit anyway, so he really only loses what he lost in the actual accident himself.
Right now, looking back here of Tyler White, currently, actually, Tyler White, he's running he's a lap down actually in the 19th position, so just went a lap down, I think, to our leader, if I had to guess.
He is the second car a lap down, and he's got a mirror full of Noah Hogard just a few tenths back.
So we're watching
they come around turn 14, heading back up the front straightaway.
We're watching a battle of 2 lap cars there. So, like I said, there's battling happening all over the track. Logan Threlkeld, who
had that spin early in the race, is now back up to 7th, fortunately for him. He has not taken service yet, but he's back on track and climbing his way back up the field.
You know, that's pretty impressive, Corey, with Logan Threlkeld not taking service after that spin he had early on in this race, and he's back up to 7th. Logan is definitely trying to make his way back up for a podium finish, so we'll see what he can get done, but I know he's got some fans rooting for him. We'll see what he can do as he's looking at the back bumper of Travis Stevens right now in that Corvette just ahead of him.
Travis Stevens has his wiper on for some reason, but maybe it's raining down there in in turn in next to turn 7.
Yeah. Well, that also, so about 5 laps before your car becomes eligible for fuel, or about 5 laps from iRacing wanting to fuel that car up, your windshield wiper does come on. I think it's a warning to let you know that you're getting low on fuel, to take a look at your gauges. Because I noticed that with all cars. And thankfully, we're not going to see any rain out here today. At least it's not in the forecast. But we're currently still watching Logan Threlkeld trying to make that position happen on Travis Stevens. And while we're doing that, why don't we talk about Save 22? Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, and educate. Save 22.
Well, thank you for that, Ken. And while we were at our ad read, we actually had a couple cars below turn 1 independently of each other. Brian Frauheiger and Josh Unger both spun themselves going down into turn 1. They're a little farther back in the pack, so it's not going to be the biggest impact to them, but certainly not what you wanted when you come here to Indianapolis.
No, and it's very easy to do here. This is one, like we talked about, this is one of the tracks where it's very easy to make mistakes. It's not the most technical track, as we're going to get a replay to see what happened here. And we'll see. We're looking at Brian Frauheiger, seeing if he can get down in here into turn 7, into that braking zone. You can see that Acura gets around him there in that Corvette. So anyway, there it was. We watched Brian get passed by somebody. So there you have it.
Well, on track, we're still looking at. We need to go back to the battle for 6 between Travis Stevens and Logan Threlkeld. That is the best action on track right now, and it is getting close. Threlkeld has just made his move, and now we're looking at Brian Provo back in 7th, who is only a second off of Travis Stevens now, trying to make those moves.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I think it was Travis Stevens that went into pit lane. Yeah, he did in the Corvette. So, you know, these guys shaking out. We got a huge there. You see Brian Provo has got a hornet's nest just there in front of him that he's got to pick his way through. So we got, yeah, quite the. Oh, and Brian Provo goes around. So I think he was looking at all that traffic, and it probably changed his braking zones and kind of let that car get away from him a little bit.
Well, was it long enough for me to not get burdened with the broadcaster's curse?
Yeah, if he's watching the broadcast, you know, anything could happen. So, you know, I tell these drivers, don't watch the broadcast while you're racing, because things like that can happen.
Well, pit road is an incredibly busy place right now. We got Brock Price, Jonathan Cofield, Jason Christie, Trav Stevens, Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner, all on pit road, and Tyler Merritt, the race leader, is pitting right now from the lead.
Yeah, and he isn't even going to get past, I believe, while he makes his pit stop. I think he had like a 30-second lead. We are just about at the halfway point of this race, about a minute to go before we're halfway, and he has dominated this race. And I think he's if there's anybody out there that hasn't pitted, isn't even going to catch him.
He's not going to get past because Rob Kubat is going to pit behind him from second. And now everyone has pitted except Brian Provo and Kevin Price and Jamie Libke. So those are your 3 cars, as Brian Provo is now up to second, not pitting this lap.
Yeah, well, there's no caution, so Brian can come in anytime, and now he's got a clean track in front of him. So, you know, I think that he looked at about 5 or 6 cars there, and then we see he go by a car that was spun out there in the grass. But, you know, he's trying to focus and get his mental state back after looking at that traffic and making that mistake. That's got to be disappointing for your pick there of Brian Provo.
Well, it looks like he's going to come this time. Tyler Merritt is off of pit road now from the eventual lead once Brian Provo makes his service. But it was only a 24-second stop, so pretty quick on and off pit road. And he had one of the better pit road times. The only one better was Christopher Tate, who I believe took fuel only, was a couple seconds faster.
Yeah, 24 seconds on pit road is it's actually kind of long, so it's telling me that these guys are taking tires. because a fuel only stop would take about maybe about 14, 13 seconds. So by them staying out over 20 seconds, that's telling me they're taking tires. Brian Provo now is headed to pit lane. Going to give that second position up and get that car serviced, get that Mustang serviced. We're looking at another battle on the track with Logan Threlkeld. Another guy that got spun is Jeremy Gardner. It looks like they're on his outside. I mean, that Corvette gets around him.
The battle for fifth just does
Travis
not
Stevens,
go
excuse me.
away. Even after they make their service, we've got a 3-car battle for second, or I'm sorry, a 2-car battle for fifth. Excuse me, I reversed my numbers, but Travis Stevens has a mirror full of Logan Threlkeld as they're coming around into turn 10. Threlkeld trying to make a move, doesn't happen. Coming down around and making their way at around turn 11 into 12.
Yeah,
Can
Travis
Threlkeld
Stevens
make a move into 12?
Travis Stevens. Travis Stevens got a big piece of that curb that could really affect the handling of that car, but he holds it together though. But this is one of those mistakes you don't want to make, taking that much curb. You can see Threlkeld down on the final corner here, turn 14, as they enter the front stretch and cross the bricks there. Threlkeld doesn't quite have enough there, and I don't think he's going to have the toe to get to him by turn 1.
Well, Brian Provo's taking his service, so this is actually going to be the battle for fourth now. As Provo makes it right off pit road, and now it's a 3-car battle for fourth as they go into 2 and around 3.
Yeah, great stop by Provo. I imagine Provo didn't take tires. I have to look at his stop time there, but Provo did a good job after that self-spin getting in front of both those guys.
Provo is going to be held up a little bit by the lap car, the 19th place of Jamie Libke. So he needs to make quick work of her if he's going to not lose time to Stevens and Threlkeld.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I wonder if Stevens and Threlkeld took tires, because that's really going to hold them up too. And if Provo didn't take tires, Provo's going to be a little bit faster, at least on these opening laps. But Provo's got that traffic to deal with right now. He's currently dealing with Jamie Lepke just in front of him.
He's going to make a move to the inside with Stevens looking. Stevens trying to use Libke as a pick. Libke's going to duck out of the way, says, I want no part of this.
Yeah, that was close. Libke, though, had to get back into that corner there, and he does. But Brian Provo now gets passed by Travis Stevens. And
Threlkeld, 2 for 1 loss on that one. And they're going to come around to the front stretch, and I expect a big move out of Provo. He's going to want at least one of those spots back.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing Provo make these kind of mistakes, so maybe it is the commentator's curse tonight. But going into 1 here, got Threlkeld just ahead of him, and he's just going to take it easy right now, collect his thoughts, get back in here as they go through 2 and 3. Another area here is this next corner that they're in right now. Sometimes they slide up, you can get under them, but Provo doesn't have anything for Threlkeld right now. Threlkeld's still looking at the back bumper of that car in front of him.
Turns 5 and 6. Kubat in front, or excuse me, Stevens in front down Holman Boulevard. And they're going to come down into turn 7, a good passing zone, but I don't think Threlkeld's got the closing distance.
No, and you can see Threlkeld was hard on the brakes there. That Porsche got a little loose trying to get up on Travis Stevens. Didn't quite have it there, but he's running him down hard here. Oh, really close to the back of Travis Stevens. Didn't have anything for him. Kept it off of him. Good job there for Threlkeld, but Threlkeld is really starting to put a lot of pressure on right
now. Threlkeld coming down into 12, late braking. Going to close the distance, but it's not going to be enough. Stevens is smooth enough, coming down around 13, going to come back around to 14, onto the front stretch, and looks like Stevens is safe, at least for the moment.
For the moment, and you know Brian Provo is back there after making a couple of mistakes. Back there in that Mustang, watching these two guys race, maybe thinking, well, maybe they can start making mistakes and I can get by these two. Maybe they'll collect each other. Brian Provo looking to the inside, doesn't have anything there. He's going to tuck back in line behind Threlkeld.
In through turn 2 now, down around turn 3, going to swing out wide for turn 4. Provo going to look a little bit inside, doesn't want to do it here. Maybe looking to do it on the next straightaway in 7 as they're through 5 and 6.
Yeah, looking back.
I think right now Travis Stevens' best friend is Brian Provo, keeping Logan Threlkeld plenty busy back there playing defense.
Yeah, I think all these guys here. Well, I'm watching Travis Stevens. It's interesting to watch these three cars. They're all in three different cars. You got the Corvette, the Porsche, and the Mustang. So you got a mid-engine, a rear engine, and a front engine car all battling. And you can see the differences in the braking zones and how they're getting through the corners, and each one of them trying to figure out where that advantage that their car has over the other. So this is really fun to watch.
You can see how late Threlkeld brakes going into 12. Coming down around the left-hander into 13. Maybe trying to set up for something in 14. Going to go to the inside. Nothing doing there. Not close enough. Provo right on the doorstep of Threlkeld. Only 1/10 behind as they come down the front stretch across the yard of bricks. Headed down into turn 1.
I really liked how Stevens got through that corner to stay ahead of him. But you got right now, you got Provo taking a look at the inside into that braking zone. Gets by. Gets by our pick of Santa there, Logan Threlkeld in that Porsche. Finally puts enough pressure on him to get that position done as they go into turn 3 here, see if he's got anything for that Corvette of Travis Stevens now.
What a move it was. You have to, you just got to trust your brakes on that one and hope they're still there. What a move it was.
Yeah, this is an exciting race as they go down the backstretch here. Brian Provo looking at the back there of Travis Stevens. I don't think he's going to try the braking zone here, but this is interesting. This front engine car of the Mustang of Brian Provo here and the mid engine of the Corvette. Now, it seems like that it's really good. The Corvette is really good through here. And then the next couple of corners, as I say that, the Mustang catches up a little bit. But as we go through the next couple of corners, I think the Mustang is a little bit better. And then on the final 2 turns, the Corvette, Stevens has been really good on the final couple of turns where it really counts.
Provo was 3/10 faster that last lap. Let's see what it looks like this time as he looks inside, puts a couple wheels on the curbs, can't do it. Going to come around 14 back onto the front stretch for another lap. We have 22 minutes to go in this race.
And Provo is all over the back bumper of that Corvette of Travis Stevens. Going to do another braking zone maneuver down on the inside as they go into turn 1 here. Brian Provo down hard on the brakes, and it looks like Travis Stevens just lets him have it. Maybe do the crossover here. Travis Stevens now on the outside of 2. Can't quite get there. They're going to settle back into single file, defend that position from Logan Threlkeld.
Oh, and here comes Threlkeld on the inside. He's going to take 5th place away from Stevens. Woo! My goodness.
and just ahead there, Brian Provo made a huge mistake there in turn 5, or turn 6, I should say. And I thought he was going to get passed by Threlkeld there because that was a huge mistake. Provo went really wide there. Oh, we got a lap car spun out in front of him there. They get by that car safely.
I think all 3 of them need a quick breather before they catch back up to each other and keep going at it.
Well, you're not missing anything up front with our number 1 guy. There we go, Tyler Merritt. He's got about a 30-some second lead on the field. Has been dominating this race so far. Started in first, led every lap so far, I believe, and is just putting a beat down on this field tonight.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what kind of special fuel they're putting in that Lamborghini Huracan, huh?
Yeah, well, I love the Lambo, and the last couple of seasons I haven't ran it because it hasn't felt that good for me. I might have to try that car out again after watching him dominate this race.
Well, you know what else I love besides the Lamborghini Huracan? I love MK Fire Designs, who is the title sponsor of the MK Fire Designs sports car series by Goat Lager Racing. MK Fire Designs is a design company that specializes in custom wooden flags, shirts, hoodies, and hats. The company supports first responders and veterans and is first responder owned. So if you need a cool looking wooden American flag, check out MK Fire Design.
Absolutely right. We're back on the battle. Brian Provo and Logan Threlkeld. Travis Stevens fallen back a little bit, just a couple car lengths. So there we go. You see Logan Threlkeld looking on the outside in this braking zone, but nothing doing there on Brian Provo. Brian Provo, it looks like he might be doing a little mirror driving there. Got a little wide as they come through this next section, this next complex of corners. It's very easy to make a mistake and get the car loose here. They both do a good job holding it together, but man, this is about the best battle that I've seen in a long time. Great racing tonight from these 3.
Yeah, in 7, Provo looked inside early to cut off any moves that Threlkeld might have been thinking about. As Threlkeld not super clean through turn 13, he's going to have to catch up over the next lap or 2 and try to make a move to get back to 4th place.
These guys have all separated out by a car length. I was going to jump up to Jeremy Gardner there in second and Rob Kubat in third. These guys, they've had kind of quite a night. We talked about Jeremy Gardner a little bit and Rob Kubat, but these guys are having a solid night. Currently in podium slots, if they can hold on to it. They are, looks like 10 seconds. At least Rob Kubat, who's in third, is at least 10 seconds ahead of Brian Provo. And if you remember, Brian Provo had that spin early on, so he is trying to get back up there, but he hasn't got a lot of time to do it. So he's got his hands full trying to keep those other two guys behind him.
Yep, Jeremy Gardner's got a 3-second lead on Rob Kubat back in the 38 car. Kubat just a hair faster over the last lap or so, but Gardner is running pretty much equal laps to him and doing all right in second place.
Yeah. Well, our battle hasn't cooled down that much. These guys are still running nose to tail, and I'm speaking of the 30 of Logan Threlkeld there. You can see him in that yellow and red Porsche there, who just bought the car today of all things, is doing a great job. Both Brian Provo and Logan Threlkeld spun out early in this race. Here they are, you know, battling for a top 5 position. Somehow, some way, these guys have held it together and got both these cars running up front.
Provo has a half-second lead on Threlkeld, and Threlkeld has about another half-second on Travis Stevens. So 3 cars a second apart after 42 minutes of racing. We're gonna have to see what the next 18 minutes is gonna look like, though. Travis Stevens falling off a little bit, but Threlkeld is trying to chase down Brian Provo, hopefully not using all of his stuff up, as he looks a little bit inside, but he's not anywhere nearby. Oh, and looks like Kevin Price is going to lose a couple spots, but then Brock goes into the grass. A near miss there. That could have been catastrophic for a few drivers.
Yeah, did a good job holding that together if you look at Brock Price there in the replay. I was going to call your attention to Eddie Smith. We've been talking about a couple of drivers that spun out early, but Eddie Smith currently running in that 11th position. Fell back to 18th at one point after a self-spin or two. I call it the Eddie Smith spin. Haven't seen him in the Mustang before. He's really sweet on the Porsche, but right now he's in the Mustang up to 11th. But I got to tell you, Tyler Merritt is right behind him back there. You can see that Lamborghini there eking into his mirror. So there's only 11 cars on the lead lap right now. We got about 17 minutes left in this race. So Tyler Merritt is just dominated this race, and Eddie Smith is about to go a lap down.
Well, you have to get Eddie Smith his flowers on this one. Eddie Smith had that problem early, but he's climbed all the way back from about 22nd back up to 11th. So he's going to save some points, and you know, looking long term between now and Monza, you know, hopefully he can minimize the damage here.
Yeah, and just ahead of Eddie, we got Michael Kostek. He's in the 98. We haven't talked much about him. He's a sponsorless. Looks like he's in the McLaren in that sponsorless flat black ride. As you can see him go through 1 and 2 here, having a solid night. Currently running in that top 10 with that McLaren. Just ahead of him, we got Tyler Justice in the 33 car. There was a close call there for Michael Kostek. I imagine he's thinking that dang commentator curse. But anyway, we're back. We're looking at Tyler Justice right now in that Lamborghini, that white and orange Save 22 Lamborghini who we spoke about earlier. Having a solid night there, running in 9th. And just ahead of him, about 4 seconds, is Zachary Minnis. Currently having another solid night in that 8 Porsche. And you can see that beautiful AS Porsche, chrome green and silver. Porsche getting it done, like I said, currently running in 8th. Just ahead of him, we got Christopher Tate, the 54. I'm just going through our lead lap cars right now. Christopher Tate having a solid night, running in 7th. And we can see him there in that Honda Acura. Well, I called it a Honda Acura. It is a Honda. You got it. But he's having a great night there in that 54. He's currently about 54 seconds behind the leader. But, you know, nobody's got anything for that leader, but still having a solid night.
Well, don't look now, but Brian Provo lost his
I'm sorry, but Logan
Threlkeld
Threlkeld just got crazy out there.
Threlkeld lost it back right away 2 turns later. We'll have to see if we can get a VSPEED instant replay, and here it is. This is right after Threlkeld made the move in 2. And, oh, he just slips, goes through the sand and the grass, back on the track. Oh, but the damage is done. He's going to fall back to 6th, and he's going to have to try to reel in Provo and Stevens once again.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, he can do it. He's still got, 15 minutes or so he'll be able to hopefully run these guys down. You know, in the old tire model, if you slipped up with your car like that, you get the tires really hot, and it's really hard to drive after that for at least, 5-10 laps. This new build, the tires can cool down pretty quickly if he treats them gently, and he can get right back in this fight.
Not sure Stevens going to have anything for Provo as he pitted earlier, so the tires are a little older. But now we're back to Big Daddy. Jeremy Gardner still hanging out in 2nd, 35 seconds off the lead. But he's got Kubat slowly closing in on him. Lost a second to him last lap.
Yeah, Kubat just getting by a lap car right now. That looks like that was Tyler White. Just got by Tyler White, a lap car. Trying to catch Jeremy Gardner, and he is slowly, like you said, running him down slowly but surely. Got enough time to do it, but we'll see if he can get that Acura up there, at least for that 2nd position. Back up front with our leader, Tyler Merritt, still dominating this field. 37-second lead currently on the field. Hasn't made any mistakes tonight that we've seen. The question is, are they yet to come? You know, it's still a lot of lap traffic. The lap traffic has been pretty respectful, but you get nervous when you're a leader and you're coming up on lap traffic, especially with guys you haven't raced before. You don't know how they're going to deal with you, but he's got Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith knows how to race. Is going to be his next car, but it's taken a while to catch Eddie Smith. I remember talking about Eddie Smith earlier, who's currently running in 11th. Eddie Smith has been able to hold off the leader for the last 3 or 4 laps. I mean, not allowed the leader to catch up that much, although you have to wonder if Tyler Merritt with that lead is kind of backed it down a little bit, saving equipment.
Well, I don't know if he is or not, but he ran a 1:26.1 last lap, and nobody's got an answer even for that. So if he's saving, everyone else is in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, we got a little bit of sunshine on the track, so the track has heated up to about 104 degrees. So that's probably why we're seeing some of these cars slip sliding around, as we got this battle here. Brian Provo and Travis Stevens here. Travis Stevens in that white and black Corvette starting to put pressure on Brian Provo. We talked about the 3 drivers, Threlkeld, Stevens, and Provo, all battling it out. We've got Threlkeld just behind them, but he's a few seconds back now from that spin or that slide off the track that he had. But we'll see if Provo can hold him off now that he has to do a little bit of mirror driving.
Provo slips up a little bit in 10. Stevens to close a little bit, but he gets a better exit now and is going to maintain his lead going down into 12.
I really like how Stevens gets through 13 and 14, though. Stevens has been really good. Last couple, we're looking at him right now as he goes through 13, and this is 14 here. He's been really strong through this corner, and he needs to be, because this is the last corner of the race when the flag falls. But it looks like they were pretty even that time by the 2 American car brands duking it out as they head into turn 1. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to attempt a brake pass here as they enter turn 1.
Provo's got a couple of lap newer tires, but you have to wonder if he has eaten them up for this battle for 5th and what is now 4th. That did include Logan Threlkeld for a while. But, like I said, he has been battling hard. This has been the best battle of the whole race. And so I wonder if he's just used up, and Stevens is kind of slowly bringing him in and going to make his move here in the next 10 and a half minutes.
Well, currently I can tell you this, Corey. Your guy is beating my guy. So I need Logan to put a run together and catch these 2 guys, because I don't want you to win the first race of the night.
Well, we'll be sure to keep score across the whole season and see how we each do. But Brian Provo currently having trouble getting around Tyler White, who is lapped us down in 20th, and now looks like he's going to clear. As Brian Provo has the blink going down into 12, but he's going to get around Tyler White's going to yield to those 2 and not be a factor.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Threlkeld to catch up a little bit, probably by a second, while those guys got by Tyler White. And, you know, if he can get by Tyler White cleanly where these two guys couldn't, going to make up a little bit of time, but he's still sitting there, back there, probably 20 car lengths behind these guys. These two guys battling it out here for the third position. I never thought or the fourth position, I should say. I've never seen the fourth position be fought over so hard.
We're now under 10 minutes to go. Provo and Stevens both lost about a half second on Threlkeld that last lap. Can Threlkeld reel them in? Does he have enough time?
Yeah, that's the big question. He is starting to run out of time. Provo looking really good right now. We're looking at Logan Threlkeld right now, watching him get through this track. You can see the two guys in front of him. That's Provo and Stevens just ahead of him. So he is still a ways back, and you know, we don't have much time. We got under 9 minutes right now, probably 10 minutes when the clock flies. We'll have to see how this race shakes out. But right now, Threlkeld is probably going to try to do his best just to hold on 6 at this point.
Well, if I'm Logan Threlkeld, I think my strategy here is I'm just going to run clean laps. I don't want to overdrive my car. I want to just be smooth. If I'm smooth, I think maybe the rest of it will take care of itself. And maybe Provo and Stevens can make the mistakes, and I can just capitalize like they did on me.
Yeah, as we were watching these two guys battle out, I just bring up, we don't have to change to what I'm about to talk about, but Rob Kubat currently in third, and Jeremy Gardner, that battle that we were talking about might have been starting to heat up, is actually cooled off. Kubat is almost 4 seconds now behind Jeremy Gardner, so Jeremy Gardner has picked it up a little bit, starting to step away as we watch Travis Stevens close in on the back bumper of that Mustang there of Brian Provo, but nothing doing just of yet, trying to force a mistake, keep the pressure on as these laps are winding down. And that's kind of what you need to do here, is you need to just keep the pressure on, because if you try to force a pass, you end up maybe taking each other out. But if you can get close enough and just put all kinds of pressure on that guy in front of you and get him mirror driving, that might be your best opportunity to get around him.
Last lap, Provo ran a 126 flat, and he ran a 126.3, and then Stevens ran a 126 flat. So they both opened up a little bit on Logan Threlkeld, but Brian Provo is in a whole lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, and well, Brian Provo is a good driver, and I think he's got it figured out to keep that Mustang on the track after the early spin here. So we'll have to see. I think he's got himself. He looks a lot more put together and composed than he did early in this race. Maybe just getting the feels for that Mustang, and after a full race, 45 minutes of racing that Mustang, I think he's starting to put this thing together as he's getting a great run out of here. And you can see where I thought that Corvette of Travis Stevens was really strong. Brian Provo actually pulled some time down on him.
Well, they're both catching up to lap car of the number 16, Jamie Libke, who's 2 laps down currently. We'll see if they can get her, how they can navigate her as she makes her way down into 1, and then now making her the left into 2, with those two trailing closely behind.
Yeah, and if you're Brian Provo, you're looking at these lap cars and you're like, oh, please let me buy early, and then the guy Travis Stevens is back there thinking, I'll hold up that Mustang, please. Let her hold up that Mustang, for the love of God. Let her hold up that Mustang. As they head down, it looks like she's going to let him by. Maybe not. She's going to run it down into 1 there, and that's that lap car. Jamie Lipke, we were just talking about, 2 laps down, and kind of held him up there. So it looks like Brian Provo is having to run behind that lap car, that Porsche.
Well, Jamie Lipke's making great TV right now, because now Stevens is only 3/10 behind Provo. Libke running off the track there, and is going to clear those two. And now, but the damage is done. Stevens is right at the bumper of Brian Provo.
Yep, so that allowed that Corvette to run it back down. You know, that's the type of TV. I think Jamie Lipke did his best to let those guys by, trying to time it, because he obviously just lifted there when he got to the outside. So good heads-up driving, and I don't think Brian Provo paid too much of a price, but I bet you Brian Provo is like, God, I wish he'd have done that sooner, though.
As they cross the yard of bricks, watch Travis Stevens. Does he have a move? Provo's going to blink a little bit. That's going to... I think that Travis Stevens kind of bailed on that with Provo blinking out a little bit. Didn't want to take that chance, but they're right there as they go through 2. Now making the right-hander into 3, setting up on the left side to go into 4.
And here, turn 4 is here. Provo made a mistake here, got really wide few laps ago, but he held it in tight there, and he's getting through these corners really well. Travis Stevens is taking a lot of that curb in, I think that's I want to say it's turn 9. He takes a tremendous amount of curb, and I'm surprised it doesn't hurt that Corvette more than it does, but putting all kinds of pressure because we've got less than 5 minutes to go. So now pay window's open, and you know Travis Stevens has got to be looking at these guys and trying to figure out some way to get by Brian Provo. So we're going to talk about our recent rigs recipient. I thought that was Hamza Khan. No, he's not in there. So I apologize. So I don't have that up right now. So we'll have to hold on.
Well, we have Alexander, who's in 21st, was a recent recipient. Not the most recent one, but earlier this year did receive a sim rig from Goat Locker Racing. And that is what we're here for, right? We're not here just to sim race. We're here to help veterans. And Alexander Sexauer, one of those veterans who recently received it. And glad to see that they've showed up as they're playing a factor in the Provo Stevens race.
Yeah, he's got that new sim rig there, and he's holding these guys up a little bit. I don't think it's on purpose. Just doesn't have a good opportunity to let them by here. But yeah, no, great job.
Going to run wide in 4. Going to try to come down Holman Boulevard and maybe yield to the other 2, but might make a move and try to stay ahead of them going into turn 7. Going to break way early and let those 2 pass. Taking 7 very wide, and now Provo is off and running with Stevens in tow. About a 4/10 lead on Stevens.
Yeah, that probably hurt Stevens more than it hurt Provo there, because Provo was able to get him there in that turn on the braking zone, and Stevens wasn't. So Stevens ends up a few car lengths back there, seeing if he can run Provo back down. As we've got, let's see, about 2.5 minutes before we're looking at a white flag. We'll have to see.
Well, Tyler Merritt all the way out to 42 seconds now. Not going to lap the field, but might as well have. Led 38 laps so far, coming to 39 at the line. Just a show, a clinic here at Indianapolis.
Call this a schooling. So, yeah, Tyler Merritt definitely dominant in that Lamborghini tonight. Back here, jumping back to our second place driver, Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner in that 57 Corvette. Strong night, second place, Jeremy Gardner. Really proud of this guy getting it done. Holding on to that second spot. He's still got a couple more laps to go, but great drive by Jeremy. And in third place, we got Rob Kubat, back there in that Acura. Strong night for him. He's about 4.5 seconds behind Jeremy Gardner. Running in that last podium spot. We'll see if we talk to him at the end of the night, but having a definite solid night for the first race of the season here at Goat Locker.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kubat expected a podium position starting from 5th, but clearly has made it work in that Acura. Back now to 4th place with Brian Provo. Still has a mirror full of 5th place Travis Stevens, as the 2 American manufacturers come down around 13, making that sweeping right-hander out of 14 back on to the front stretch. 1 minute to go before the leader takes the white flag. This race is almost over, and Travis Stevens is running out of time.
Yeah, the leader is now in turn 14 right now, so probably going to take the white flag this time by. So, or no, excuse me, he's not in 14. He's about to be in 14. So he's in 13 right now, about to hit the 14. So I'm expecting the white flag to fly. We're watching these 2 guys best battle on the track right now. As you can see, we're back on Merritt. But here we go. We're Travis Stevens looking there on the inside of Brian Provo, but didn't have nothing for him then.
This has just been a knockdown, drag-out fight all hour long, and it's going to hit a climax here in just 1 second as we are on 1 to go. These 2 still have about a lap and a half left because they haven't taken the white yet, but this thing is getting crazy.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're watching these 2 guys here. Tyler Merritt still having a solid night up front, waiting for that white flag to come out. This is a timed event. The timer has gone to 0, so next time by will be the white flag. There's a spin in front of the two race drivers here, Brian Provo and Stevens, as that lap car gets back up to speed here. This scary moment for those two drivers. Stevens is hoping that he can get up to him, and that's actually one of our good drivers out there tonight. Seeing him go backwards, but yeah, we're looking at.
For clarification, we are on our white flag lap. Tyler Merritt coming around turn 11, going to come down into 12 for the final time. Nobody's going to challenge him. He's going to make the right-hander. Now the left-hander into 13, going to come around 14 on to the yard of bricks for the final time.
As we watch him come around turn 14, solid night. Started on the pole. He's going to finish with the win here as he crosses a brick. Give the win to Tyler Merritt. Congratulations, our Goat Locker race winner for the night.
And it's the race for fourth still heating up. Here comes Stevens on the outside into 7. Can't make a move here. They're going to make the S's into 8 and 9. A chance to pass turn 10. Going to make the round into turn 11 after that, but nothing yet. Stevens probably setting up for turn 12. This is going to be his last real chance. Here they come around 11. What's Stevens got in the tank? Nothing here. He might be done. It might be Provo's spot. Coming around 13. One more time. One more turn. It's going to be 14. And it looks like Brian Provo is going to get the best of this one as Jeremy Gardner and Rob Kubat finish out your podium. But it's going to be Brian Provo taking 4th place. Wow, what a battle.
That was a great battle. Travis Stevens finishes there in 5th. Can't complain about that. Logan Threlkeld, after spinning, back there coming home in 6th. So Logan Threlkeld, you know, he lost the battle with those two guys, but still comes home with the 6th place finish.
Not everybody's taking the checkered yet. We still have Zach Minnis, the 31, in 7th place. Only got a second, or excuse me, he's only got a 1 second lead on Tyler Justice.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all our league lap cars have crossed the line here.
And they were the last ones to take it.
Yeah. Wow, what an exciting race. Man, congrats to Tyler Merritt. We're going to talk to our podium finishers, Tyler Merritt, Jeremy Gardner here, and Rob Kubat in just a few moments as we take a short commercial sponsored break.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
And we are back at Indy with that exciting race. And here is our race results. What a finish. Tyler Merritt finishes in the top spot tonight. Jeremy Gardner finishes in second. Heck of a run for those two guys. We got Rob Kubat, who finishes in third. That is our podium finishers. Brian Provo, heck of a race with Travis Stevens tonight. Finishes in fourth and fifth, respectively. We got Logan Threlkeld, a spin early in the race, races back to sixth place. Zachary Minnis, we didn't talk too much about him, but had a solid night there, finishing in seventh. Tyler Justice will finish in eighth. Another guy that we talked quite a bit tonight, had a solid night. Michael Kozak finishes ninth, one lap down, our first car a lap down. So that shows you how strong Tyler Merritt was tonight. And then in 10th, we have Eddie Smith, another guy that fought back from adversity and rounds out your top 10.
Well, in 11th, we had the Acura of Christopher Tate, followed by the BMW of Jonathan Cofield. Brock Price in 13th. Samuel Egg in 14th. Ryzon Baker's Porsche finished 15th. The 06 of Tyler Rice in 16th. The Jason Kristen Machine in 17th. Joshua Unger, Jamie Libke, and Tyler White finishing out the top 20. In 21st, Alexander Sexauer in his Chevrolet, followed by Kevin Price, Jason Black, Noah Hogard, Brian Frauheiger, Doug Ellingson, and Bobby Germain. Round out your field, the top 27 right there.
That was a heck of a race. Well, we've got our race winner up here in the booth with us. Ken Huber here, Tyler Merritt. Welcome to your first win in Goat Locker, I believe, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
So tell us about your race, your thoughts going into this night. You pretty much dominated the field tonight, pretty much led every lap. I got to tell you, and you did it in the Lamborghini. So you're going to have to talk to me about all three of those things and how that race went for you tonight.
Well, I'll start with the last thing. Yeah, I love the Sun Lamborghini. That's why I raced it, but it does not handle that well. It has low speed oversteer, and then depending on the setup, this fixed set is actually pretty decent for it. I've tried other tracks where maybe like go to Daytona or whatever. The back end just wants to, the back end wants to step out, and the front end wants to understeer. Here actually wasn't too bad until after the second stick, because I didn't take tires, because I'm like, well, like I've got a 30-second gap on Jeremy. I said, let's not take tires. Let's play it safe. I don't want to spin on cold tires like I'm prone to. And that now, honestly, I thought I was gonna get third or fourth because I saw how close Logan qualified. I think it was Logan who qualified within a tenth of me, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah, Logan was really close to you tonight, and we were watching him, and he was actually my pick for the race win tonight. Though you were too easy at the time we were looking at those lap times, but yeah, Logan definitely had some speed tonight. But he was new to that car. Talking to him pre-race, he just bought that car, so he had some struggles.
Yeah, I want to say this is my third win in the car, and I've been running it since, I want to say, end of July. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
well, you
go ahead.
You definitely showed you could race that car. The Lamborghini used to be one of my favorite cars. I moved over to the Corvette. The Lambo, like you said, had that looseness on the high-speed corners and the definite understeer. So that's why I was really impressed with you getting it done with the Lambo here tonight. So that brings me to another thing I want to ask you, the weather today. So we started off with mostly cloudy conditions and a pretty cold track. And then, we got to race conditions about halfway through the race. The sun came out and that track heated up. How greasy did it get?
I honestly cannot really tell because as sick as I didn't take tires. So the fronts were overheating, and I backed it down for a while, moved the brake bias from, I want to say, I had 58 for the first 10 minutes, back down to 56, and then I want to say for the first 15 or so minutes of the second stint, I ran 54, and then I backed it back up to 56, because I'm like, I don't personally like a low brake bias in the GT3s because I'm prone to spinning. But I mean, it's I think the only instant point I think got was when I accidentally doored Doug when I passed him earlier in the race because I did not expect Doug to slow down so much in turn 2 to let me go by, and that's my bad.
Well,
I should have went a little lower in the corner, but I'm sure you guys know how turn 2, it's very thin line between being the apex and like that little curb on the inside. I was trying not to hit the curb and spin.
yeah, we missed that. Lucky for you, we'd had that all on camera. You making that mistake because I definitely didn't see any mistakes tonight. So, I mean, hats off to that run. One final question before I ask you to talk about who to thank. But next week we're going to Watkins Glen, and I expect to see you here. You got that first race win, first race of the season, a brand new season, season 2 here at Goat Locker. What do you have for Watkins Glen?
I'll be honest, I have a very bad history of that track in the GT3s. Mostly because the last 2 league races I did in there was in the rain. I DNF both times.
Well, you know, Tim Jones, who is the race series director for this series, you know, you could see rain next week. So I wouldn't put anything past him. I think we don't know the race weather until the day of the race. So you don't get a lot of chance to practice for us. So it's going to be exciting, I think, every week.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. My thing really walking on the rain is I want to say it's the downhill corner going into the boot. Like I guess it's the downhill corner in the boot that goes uphill to the right,
Yep.
and then has that straightaway before you get onto the NASCAR section. For some reason, the rain and the water just piles up right there at the breaking point. So you try to brake earlier, you do, and then if you don't let up a little bit, when you hit those pedals, the car just spins, especially in mid-engine car, which is what I run, because before the tire update, I ran the Porsche. Yeah. But now with the tire update, I hate the Porsche. It's way too snappy for me, because I don't know if you guys checked the chat earlier, one of my teammates spoiled it. I'm like, dang it, Michael. I actually am known as Mr. Thumbsticks on Alien Salary Sports.
Well, you know, it was a heck of a win. It was a lot of fun watching you tonight. I'm sure, you know, rain be damned. You're going to be probably pretty decent at Watkins Glen, although Tim Jones probably heard all you talking about the rain and might set it up rain specifically for you. Just kidding, of course. But looking forward to see what you could do next week. Who do you have to thank for getting you this victory tonight?
Well, I would like to thank my personal sponsors, all the guys at Alien Salary Sports, especially Michael Damcooler, Julian Padilla, and also Mike Irising. His name's literally Irising without the NG. All those guys are road guys that got me into really investing in the road this year. They helped me a lot. I want to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Design. I think is the series sponsor, right? I believe so.
You got that. Brand new. We thank him for having them on board.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see that because it's broadcasted. That it made it even sweeter getting a win on the broadcast. And then the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, I want to say that's the main organization y'all do the charity work through, ain't it? Or no?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yep. I love what you gotta do with the charity. My great grandfather was a veteran, so I really appreciate what y'all do. I do.
Awesome.
And
well,
I was gonna say, I just want to thank my personal sponsor though, Wizards Products. They pay for my Irish subscription and a couple extra cars a month. And I'm happy to get their logo to win tonight.
Well, Tyler, awesome. If you're looking for some advice, if you're trying to get more TV time, you might want to not lead by so many seconds next time.
Hey, that wasn't intentional. I was expecting one of the fast guys to take tires and come get me because I thought the track was going to stay under overcast for most time, and then it went daytime. I was like, oh, my front tires are really going to overheat now. But I'm going to let you guys go interview second and third place. Y'all have a good night, all right? And y'all have a good rest of your weekend as well.
Well, there you have it, Tyler Merritt. There, our race winner. I'll tell you what, Corey. Why don't we grab Jeremy Gardner here and let's see what he has to say.
All right, here with second place finisher Jeremy Gardner. Big Daddy, you were the fastest on pit road. You have a lot of intangibles that other GLR drivers don't, but settled for second today. Tell us about your race.
It went good. I definitely didn't have nothing for Tyler. I
hell, compared to his pace, I was just cruising all night, just trying to stay consistent and try not to spin out. This Corvette likes to get loose a little bit on exit, so I was just trying to chill out tonight. Trying to get a decent finish, not make any mistakes. So overall, that was a fun. That was a fun race, making my way through lap traffic and stuff. I mean, I was a little worried about that, but man, that was a blast. Not my best track, but it wasn't awful.
All right. Well, we are happy to see some North American Detroit representation on the podium. Who do you have to thank for your race tonight?
At least, Pat and Jamie for putting on the whole GLR thing, allowing us all to do this. Old man bun Timothy Jones for helping out with the GT3 series. Like to thank my guys at Premier Racing Setups. They support me in everything I do. MK Fire Designs and ZAT Graphics, Jam Printing Promotions, VSPEED for putting on the broadcast tonight. Y'all put on a hell of a broadcast tonight. And Alexander PCs.
All right. Well, Jeremy Gardner brings her home second. We'll see what he does next week at Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. See y'all next week.
All right. Well, now we're going to bring up Rob Kubat. Did I say that right, Rob? You got me.
Yes, it is Kubat. You said that correct. How are you guys doing?
I'm pretty bad with names, so you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. You just never know what's going to come out of my mouth half the time anyway. But hey, you did a great job getting that Acura into that third place finish tonight. We didn't get too much time to talk to you. There was a heck of a battle going on behind you. But you know what? You ran a solid race. You kept it really clean. Tell us about how that went for you tonight.
Absolutely. I kind of appreciated that battle behind me. It seems to keep them at bay for most of it. I'm not sure if a lot of people were just making mistakes or if I didn't take any tires in my pit cycle. So I just went right back out and I had a pretty quick pit. I actually finished that race with a half a lap of fuel left, which was pretty scary. I had to really stop pushing. So as you guys were saying, I seen in the broadcast, I was catching up to Jeremy there at the end, but I just couldn't get it done because I had to actually back off quite a bit to save the fuel to actually finish the race. But it was good fun otherwess.
You just answered my second question. Thanks for taking the fun out of that. No, I often thought, how many people were taking tires because, with the new build and the new tire model, taking tires seems to be a pretty big detriment. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. Between doing the official series and running GT3 last season rather, with you guys here at Goat Locker, like you said, they just changed it, so it doesn't even matter. But it was still pretty bad before. If you took new tires, got the cold tires coming out, you had to be very careful on your first out lap. But yeah, it's like you got 2 or 3 laps of absolute ice, and it's a problem. So
yeah, I kind of found that out myself. But heck of a job, first race this season. You're in third. We go to Watkins Glen next week. How are you going to keep it up front next week?
Another one of my good tracks. Just kind of give it the same game plan tonight. Try to keep away from everybody, run my own race, get a good pace out there. I wasn't the fastest out there, but I definitely had a good pace and just stayed smooth and clean. So go with that again.
Well, awesome race. Congrats on third place. Who do you have to thank for getting you there tonight?
I'd like to thank iRacing, MK Fire Design, and ZAT Graphics, SimMotion. And I'd like to give a shout out to you guys too. You guys do a great broadcast, so appreciate VSPEED as well. Shout out to my Discord as well, all the guys over there, Gangs Discord, who push me to do these races and everything. Appreciate all you guys too. But that's all I got.
Awesome. And there you have it, Rob Kubat, our third place finisher. And that's going to wrap things up there, Corey. So next week, going into Watkins Glen, I think we're going to see a pretty exciting race. We had 26, 27 cars tonight start the race. Next week, we go into Watkins Glen, which is probably the most popular road course, especially with a league like we're in with a lot of oval racers. I expect to see maybe even 40 cars. I wouldn't say that's out of the question. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on. I know we mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. A lot of left-hand turners have some familiarity with Watkins Glen, along with a couple of others, but Watkins Glen is going to be a popular one. And if we see some of the racing that we had tonight at Watkins Glen, I think it's going to be a great race, and the season is definitely starting off on the right foot.
Yeah, and I had such a hard time keeping up with the race tonight with 26 cars. There was such good battles going on. I can hardly wait to see what next week at Watkins Glen is going to bring. But yeah, so great race. Looking forward to next week. I'm really excited to be here with you. This was our first race, our first broadcast together. Hopefully we made it fun for everybody. like I said, looking forward to doing Watkins Glen next week. But yeah, so this race has been brought to you by MK Fire Designs. MK Fire Design is a design company that specializes in custom wooden flags, shirts, hoodies, and hats. Also brought to you by Zat Graphics. We put your design on almost anything. And then Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. And that's going to wrap things up for myself and Corey Smith, Tim Jones, and Dougie Beard on cameras tonight. Great race there, Corey Smith. Looking forward to working with you again next week.
Thank you. Can't wait.
And that's going to conclude our race here on VSPEED from Indianapolis Speedway. On behalf of Goat Locker Racing and VSPEED, I want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe out there. And like I said, have a great weekend. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be hitting